Hello, everyone, and welcome to RBCM at Home. My name is Kim Goff, and I'm a learning program developer at the Royal BC Museum. I'm coming to you today from my home, which is located on the traditional territories of the Lekwungen, the Songhees, and the Esquimalt First Nations. And I want to extend my appreciation for the opportunity to live and learn on this territory. And I would encourage you to, for those of you who are watching from somewhere else, to think about the traditional territories of the lands you are on today. Mine, as I always say, I'm having screens doing all kinds of things. I'm back. Hi. So before we start today's program, I want to say thank you, first of all, to Stacy Baker. Stacy is at the Dorchester Retirement Residence in Kelowna, where she's an activities coordinator. And for the last 10 months, she has worked really hard to arrange and provide a safe opportunity for small groups of residents to participate in the RBCM at Home programs. I've enjoyed hearing about how they've themed their meals or additional activities, and it's warmed my heart to imagine them on the other side of the screen. Stacy shared the great news that all the residents have had their first rounds of vaccination, and now they're able to gather for their meals again. So that means they may not be able to join us live, but hopefully they'll be able to enjoy the recordings. So the recording of this program and all of our past programs from the last year are available, and you will find them on the Royal BC Museum's YouTube channel. So April is Sikh Heritage Month. First celebrated in 2018, its purpose is to celebrate the contributions and aspirations of all Sikh Canadians. I encourage everyone to visit the Sikh Heritage Month BC website to learn more about it and to find out about virtual events taking place. Today, April 13th, is Vaisakhi, and my guest is Inderjeet Bajwa. Inder was born and raised in Mumbai, India, but his roots are from the northern part of Punjab, India. He came to British Columbia to pursue his undergraduate and graduate studies in business with a focus on finance, and he is currently working with a real estate finance firm. Inder is passionate about leveraging private capital to influence large-scale social impact, and he is also an avid hiker, aspiring yogi, and an amateur chef. From the news stories we're hearing about the busy real estate market these days, I really appreciate that you have some time to join us today to talk about Vaisakhi. But first, I also want to emphasize that you aren't a historian or a secret anthropologist, at least that I'm aware of, but rather you're a Sikh person who has lived experience that you're willing to share with us today. Welcome, Inder.
Thank you, Kim. Pleasure to be here with you and all the people that are joining in. Happy Vaisakhi to everyone.
Yes, happy Vaisakhi. So let's start maybe with a very basic, what is Vaisakhi?
So Vaisakhi is traditionally was celebrated as a festival marking the culmination of the spring harvest. So farmers, Punjab usually has been like a farming community. A lot of people do farming for the living. So it's in a way to kind of bring in the harvest and then celebrate, with traditional folk dances and the community kind of coming together and celebrating it together. In the religious context, in 1699, the 10th guru of Sikhs, known as Guru Gobind Singh, kind of formalized the Sikh religion, which was earlier like a more way of life in a way. But then in 1699, it was formalized as a social, political, and religious identity that was given to the Sikhs, and that's why in from a religious context, it's also like a major historical event, which was on 13th of April, 1699.
And can you say the guru's name again? Was it Guru
Gobind
Singh?
Yes.
Gobind Singh. And what were some of those main tenets that he set out at that time? I imagine these are things that are still important to Sikh people today.
I mean, there are multiple tenets of Sikhism, which started with Guru Nanak, who was the first guru and is known as the founder of Sikhism. I think one of the biggest things that are the messages that he propagated was that humanity is one, everyone's created equal, and the different cultural kind of reforms that he undertook through himself, through his discussions with different people, and then his followers kind of taking those traditions and moving forward as the gurus kind of kept coming from the first guru, which is Guru Nanak, to the 10th guru, which is Guru Gobind Singh. The focus has always been on equality and like how all humans are created equal. One of the other tenets, or rather like the way of living that Sikhism emphasizes on, is three main things, which is, I'll first say it in Punjabi and then translate it in English, if that's all right. It's kirt karo, vand shako, te naam japo. Kirt karo means do your righteous work and earn a living. Vand shako means Vand means distribute. So Vand shako means you distribute with the, and kind of have that community mindset to share it with the community. And then finally, Naam Japo, which means meditate on the name of the One, which is this omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent being that is present everywhere and that resides within us. That is it. There are multiple ways to look at it, but yeah, that's like in short, some of the main tenets of Sikhi.
I just see that Kim asked me, I think she left the call quickly, but I have a couple of questions to ask, if that's okay. So with this festival, what are some traditions specifically for this festival?
Perfect. Yeah, so for Vaisakhi, it's Sikhs kind of gather together, and first thing is going to the Gurudwara, early morning, and kind of just going in and praying. And then after that, there are multiple processions that are taken out in whatever cities where Sikhs have presence. So for example, in Vancouver, I attended two. One was in South Vancouver near Ross Street. That's where the procession started. And then the other one was in Surrey. So yeah, people come together and in these and march in these processions, and then there are different stalls where langars, which are these community kitchens, are organized, which are free to everyone, and doesn't matter what the caste or the creed or the religion is. It's basically offering free food and different types of food to people, and it's considered like a blessing. So yeah, people dress up, as I mentioned earlier, so to look nice, and yeah, there's always this sense of community, coming together in these processions.
And is there one that you've been to that has been the most memorable for you?
The ones that's been the most memorable for me. I think in just the sheer size of the procession, I would say the one in Surrey was quite big. I think, if I'm not wrong, over 500,000 people were on the road at one point of time. So yeah, just seeing so many, Sikhs kind of coming together, and not just Sikhs, like with people from different, like, walks and religions kind of coming together and celebrating was amazing. Especially for me personally, since I moved from Mumbai, India. So this was refreshing to see.
Definitely. Oh, and I see we have Kim back. Welcome back, Kim.
Hello, Kim.
Oh, I've transformed between floors. I'm now here. Something very odd happened, not to the internet, but to my computer. And Jenny, thank you so much for jumping in. Inder, did you have a chance to talk a little bit about the difference between the celebrations you maybe have attended in Mumbai versus a celebration that you got to attend in Vancouver?
Like the first thing that comes to my mind is like it's much more organized in Vancouver.
Which one?
I mean, just generally, like I feel there's some sense of uniformity in terms of like how crowds are managed, and the different stalls and tents that are set up that offer different community offerings, primarily food. It's quite uniform, I'd say, as compared to Mumbai, where it's well, not so uniform. Let's just put it that way.
And the parade's still a big focus for both, or do other things take place in Mumbai? For example, I'm wondering about fireworks or floats or music.
Definitely music. So yeah, this is like more on the religious, aspect, but then there's also the cultural aspect where Bhangra and Gidda are two, Sikh dance forms. So Bhangra is what like usually men perform, and then Gidda is it's women's forte. And so I mean, when the community is kind of gathering together, we'll play songs, and then there'll be different types of food that'll be prepared, and then people come together, and this is not a large community gathering. It's usually like the close circle of people that families know. They kind of come together, and then yeah, sing and dance, and just yeah, straight up have a good time.
I think you were telling me before when we chatted, it often starts with a visit to the Gurdwara in the morning.
Yes, it does. Yeah, so the idea is just kind of go, you visit, just be grateful and thankful for whatever's been, given to us, and then yeah, start your day from there. And then, like for me personally, like I used to get up early in the morning and be at the Gurdwara at like 6 in the morning with my parents, and help out in preparing some of the community food that was being prepared. And there are these huge vessels in which this food is prepared, because you're serving it to thousands and thousands of people. So yeah, just helping out, if it comes to like peeling onions or potatoes, and like or doing all the stuff. So it was really exciting for me to visit Gurdwara during Vaisakhi.
Oh, great. So Lori is wondering, is it really just one day of celebrations, or are the celebrations over many days?
Like typically it's just like on the day itself that it's celebrated. But yeah, like in terms of like preparing yourself for Vaisakhi, I think that starts quite early. Everyone's looking forward to the day of Vaisakhi. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if that answers the question.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Often the parade is not, the parade, from what I know in Vancouver and Surrey area, it's on the Saturday that comes the closest to the 13th, but not, so it wouldn't be, if we could have a parade, it wouldn't be today. It would have been maybe last Saturday or the coming Saturday. Is that also the same?
Yes. So, I mean, yeah, I was just telling, mentioning earlier that I attended two parades here. So one was in South Vancouver and the other one was in Surrey. And it was, the Surrey one was like the week after the Ross Street one that happened. So yeah.
Oh, good. So we can have more celebrations. That's
of course, more food to eat.
Yeah, I was, can we talk more about food? I know Langar is a really important feature of Sikhism, so that anybody who wants a meal can get a meal. If you go to a Gurdwara, you can experience a meal. Yes. Can you say a little bit more about why that's important?
Langar, originated, Guru Nanak, which is the first guru of Sikhs, started langars, and the idea was to abolish some of the notions that were, pervading or that were present in the Indian society. So when it comes to castes, Indian society at that time had like 4 different castes. So you had the Brahmins, which are like the people like who kind of prayed to the gods. Then you had the Kshatriyas, Shudras, and then Kshatriyas were the warriors. Then there were the tradesmen, I forgot the name, what it's called. And then the Shudra, which is the lower castes. And everything was done in a very, like everything was segregated based on caste. They were untouchable, so you cannot touch other people. And then all these kind of superstitions that were floating around. And then Guru Nanak, here comes Guru Nanak, and just kind of completely overturns this idea, saying that, like, I mean, everyone's created equal, and so everyone will kind of eat together as well, and the community will come together, contribute all the resources, the community will prepare the food, and then everyone will kind of sit down in one together and eat together. So that was the whole idea behind setting up langars, to kind of abolish some of these superstitions that were going on.
And now you told me in your bio you are an aspiring chef. What's some food that you would look forward to in particular, or that you might make as a special thing during Vaisakhi?
Oh, during Vaisakhi, I would make this Indian, sweet dish called semia. It's basically sweetened vermicelli, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
with uh, with with milk as the base. So yeah, you put in a lot of dry fruits, raisins, almonds, and all that good stuff. And yeah, that was something that I really used to look forward to my mom preparing. So yeah, I think if I can do that, I'll call that a success.
Very nice. Yeah, it sounds a bit like rice pudding, but with vermicelli noodles.
Exactly. So there's rice pudding as well, which is called kheer, Kheer, which is quite common in the gurudwaras. So it's usually served as a dessert, after the main meal, or like with the main meal, because everything kind of served together. So yeah, rice pudding.
Very nice. Lori is asking if individual families take on the cost of the food, or does the cost of preparing all the food come from the community or different community organizations?
Sure. So the main organization is done by the gurudwaras, which are, and the committees that handle the lot of the community money that's coming in. So every time, you go to the gurudwara, you offer like some, like money as an offering as such, and then all that money is kind of accumulated together, and then some part of it is kind of used, but also large part of it is also voluntary, coming from families and individuals who kind of pool in the resources and set up different stalls, in the context of say a parade. So like the parade that I attended in Surrey, it had multiple stalls that were managed by individual families, or like 2-3 families coming together and preparing some sort of langar, which was then offered to almost everyone that attended the parade. So it really varies.
Very good. So food is a big part of the parade. Jenny, I'm going to ask you, since I've changed and moved computers and things, so now I'm kind of afraid to touch anything, actually. Jenny, there is a short video. It's 50 seconds, and it's called Vancouver Vaisakhi Parade. Maybe if you could cue that up and play for us, we'll see some of the sights and colors of Vaisakhi here in Vancouver. Now, Metro Vancouver has a big parade. We were saying, you're talking about the parade in Surrey, and that parade has been called the largest Vaisakhi parade outside of India. An average of 300,000 to 500,000 people show up for that parade when they're able to happen, of course.
Yeah.
And we're talking, you were mentioning earlier, and some folks said they really admired the colors. Are there any special colors that are part of Vaisakhi, or colors a person should not wear during that time?
I think that, the latter part of the question, yeah, there is no like restriction on like not wearing a particular color as such. But in terms of the colors that people do wear, people who are like more religious, with a more religious bent of mind, would usually sport an orange. In Punjabi, it's called kesari, and blue, which is these are the two main colors of the Khalsa, which is okay, I'm gonna try and so Khalsa are the Sikhs who really like follow the religion to the T. Like taking analogy from Christianity, it's like the baptized Sikhs. They sport orange and blue turbans.
Okay, so you might see more of that color, orange.
Yes, for sure, orange.
Jenny,
if saffron is the right color, like more not orange, I'd say saffron.
That sounds better.
Yeah.
Oh, Jenny is saying she can't find the video. All right, well, I encourage folks to try to look one up to get a better sense of that sort of color and sound that you hear. One of the things in 2020, we were planning to do a Sikh heritage event at the museum. And one of the activities we were going to have demonstrated was Gatka, which I believe is a type of martial arts. Is that right?
Kim, I think you cut out for the last 10 seconds. I couldn't hear you.
Sure, sorry. I was thinking of the martial art Gatka. Is
Yeah.
that a demonstration or something that usually happens?
Yes, it does. It's actually like a major part of the procession where, I think it's usually towards the end of it, but in some processions, it also like kind of, it's an ongoing thing where, people who practice Gatka would kind of, yeah, just kind of engage in these, battles with each other, of course, like with all safety and everything. And, but it's just more of it's to demonstrate, the art of Gatka, which was it like heavily used during the earlier part of the history, when Sikhs were, just fighting, those who were oppressing some of the persecuted communities. So that's where like it comes from, and it kind of takes its roots from there.
Excellent. Well, is there anything we've missed covering about the parade or about the day or the celebration itself?
Let's see. I'm just thinking. Oh yeah, one more thing is, I was actually watching a video day before, which I wasn't aware of, but in the community of Surrey, rather the city of Surrey, there's a lot of economic positive economic impact that is also created because of Vaisakhi, because it's usually the time, because there's a large community in Surrey, so spending increases, spending primarily on food, and also on some of clothing and some of the other things that are associated with Vaisakhi. So yeah, I think retailers start planning for Vaisakhi November onwards for an event that's in April, because some of the things are kind of imported from different parts of the world. So yeah, that was quite interesting, and interesting to see that the festival has such a huge impact on the economy as well. So that's fascinating.
Yeah, actually, yeah, thinking about that planning side of it, it's another element to be sure. Now,
Yeah.
Inder, you're in Vancouver, I believe.
Yes.
What's something you might do this year and everything, of course, we can't do anything in person. So what's something you might do today to celebrate Vaisakhi?
I would virtually go to the Gurudwara, and just kind of that'll be nice. And apart from that, you've just given me an idea. So I think I'm going to prepare some vermicelli pudding, and I'll probably send some pictures to my mom. I think she'll be happy.
Oh, that's lovely.
And then I just virtually catch up with some of the people, some of my relatives here, and like friends here and back home. So yeah, I think that's the plan. But yeah,
Okay, well,
unfortunately with COVID, there's only so much that you can do. But yeah, you gotta adapt with the circumstances and embrace what's being thrown at us.
absolutely. And speaking of adapting to the circumstances and embracing, my apologies again for my video quality not being very good. My internet seems to be having a problem. So perhaps we will work at wrapping this up. And if we can stay a little bit later for those folks on Zoom, we can take any more questions that do come in. So again, I want to thank you all for joining us, especially you, Inder. Really appreciate you taking the time to do this today. And just to remind folks, it has been recorded. So if you missed something or you'd like to check in, please take a look at the Royal BC Museum's YouTube channel. Our museum is getting ready to reopen, and we're actually opening a feature exhibition, Orcas, Our Shared Future. That will open on Friday. This exhibit has been a few years in the making, and it's been a partnership between the Royal BC Museum and a company called Museum Partners. If you live locally, we'll encourage you to find out more about time tickets. But if you don't live locally, there's some opportunities as well for you to explore the exhibit. There's going to be a free online gala on Thursday, April the 15th at 6 p.m. And you can get tickets, you can register for your tickets to enjoy that. And in May, we will also have a video tour of the gallery that will be available for purchase. And you can also book a live virtual tour of the gallery. So where Jenny will walk you through and show you what's happening in there. And again, you can find out more on our website. Our next RBCM at Home will be with Hugh Ellenwood. Hugh is an archivist from the White Rock Museum and Archives, and he will be telling us some of the interesting history of that city's iconic pier. Have you been out to White Rock, Inder?
Yes, I have. I've been to the pier. It's beautiful.
Yeah, when I can travel again, I'm planning to check it out. And one more event, on April 27th, I will be hosting a panel conversation about the farmers' protest that's happening in India and some of its impacts here in British Columbia. This is going to be a free discussion, but we are asking people to register. That information again is on our website, and that will be April 27th at 7 p.m. And that's part of our Sikh Heritage Awareness Month activities that we're doing. So again, thank you, everyone. Thanks for your patience with my audio. Thank you, Jenny, so much for jumping in and helping out with that. And happy Vaisakhi, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Happy Vaisakhi. Cheers.